Hello, if you're watching this video, this is pre-recorded. So certain things that I say was recorded during the time, like the video being up, or there not being a copywriter or anything. So if you're watching this if the video is taken down that I mentioned, that's the reason why. I do have it downloaded. I do have evidence showing it. I'll put I'll put like a short if I need to, but that's where it comes. Anyway, along with the video. Hello, everybody. My name is TRG, this is now a defunct archive. I rarely get on here now, but I'm going to talk about someone named Sonic Hero. They go by SH on YouTube, and they're trying to lie about me. They have not only tried to pester me multiple times, but now they're actually breaking YouTube's TOS of harassment by trying to pester me multiple times. And then they're also now trying to make videos where it's just an insult and re-uploading my content without my permission, which is now copyright. So that's being done. This video is being recorded in advance to that. So let's go and actually talk about that. So there's two videos that are quite long and would take about an hour for you to like watch it. But all this started because I corrected a allegation against somebody. Their name was Nominal Dingus, and there was multiple things like sexual assault, grooming, and bad behavior. The bad behavior was true, and I corrected the fact that the sexual assault and the grooming allegations just didn't make sense with the evidence that they provided. Not only was the evidence extremely shaky, but a lot of the times they contradicted themselves, and a lot of times they had to play word games. So the evidence for grooming was that if you take the definition of grooming and you twist it and you change it, you can get grooming into a friendship, which makes little to no sense and is nothing more than exaggeration of somebody's trying to go at somebody, probably because they have a bad experience with them. The same thing happened with sexual assault. If you don't know, the claim, or I should say, it was coming from hypnosis. If you don't know how hypnosis works, it's hypnotherapy. That is the real hypnosis. Real hypnosis does not actually work like that. Real hypnosis works by bringing the subconscious to the conscious. It is not the way that they described, in which it is a trigger word. That is something that's only in like movies and stuff like that, and I corrected that. This person doesn't seem to understands that and tries to make it seem like me correcting that is me being a dick rider, which makes no sense. So let's go look at a few of their comments and see how well they're handling something of severity like this. As you can see, there's pretty much nothing here. Now, I don't mind like things of like insults and stuff like that when it comes to like arguments. That's going to come out when like anybody's emotional or you're dealing with very serious things, as I would have that as myself. But when you're trying to go and counter a person and try to act like you're right, especially when you're trying to grandstand on this and make a video and call somebody a dick rider, you need to give better arguments than this, because all it makes it seem is that you're petty. And especially when you're not even doing it properly and you're going to be on the hook for copyright, you might want to at least be right in the first place rather than just not listening to anything and just putting your head up your ass. For some reason, he also loves to like morally grandstand on things. Like he says this, I think he might not know how to spell, but when we look at the video, he tries to say that, you know, I told a minor to get off his ass cheeks. What is wrong with you? I'm sorry. Let's go look at you on your blue sky. So let's address that. First of all, these are minors, but they're not kids. These are people well within their teens, and this isn't something like, oh my god, it's like a 4-year-old that you're swearing at. Not only that, when you're having such like incredible things, the thing of saying, well, they're a minor doesn't really work, because you're having claims of sexual assault, sexual misconduct, and bad behavior and grooming. Their status as a minor, when I look at their claims and the evidence doesn't match, and the person that made the doc, I don't know how much involvement they had, probably a decent amount of time, and especially when they try to continue pushing that they're a victim when even the evidence contradicts it, I'm going to get mad, because those are life-ruining allegations that they're taking no care of. It doesn't matter whether or not they are minor or not. This is something I'm going to get mad at, and anybody would get mad at. Trying to act like this is a bad thing is just boo-hooing without actually talking to me, not actually responding to anything that I said. And like I said, he pretty much just re-uploaded my video, which is calling me a dick rider. So yeah, but this person has a repeated history of just using slurs in general. The first time they say like, "Oh, well, it was an accident." Well, I'm led to believe that. Okay. Then they also use the R word, which whether or not you think is a slur is up to you. So you have like 1.5, but then the person also calls somebody the F slur as well. So yeah, if the person is trying to act like me saying "get off my ass" to somebody is the same thing as how they act, it's completely incomparable. And like this is just showing that the person is hypocritical and doesn't want to necessarily actually admit that they are wrong about these allegations. And it makes sense because when we look at the reaction to the actual document, at first it seems like they were against these things, but then they flipped it. But I guess that they don't want to flip it again because I don't know, they didn't actually read it, which is odd because I'm pretty sure that they know the contents of it. But then when a person goes and actually analyzes it, they just disagree with it, which is odd because it's even more hypocritical because the person like gets sensitive over a person making like a Israeli Palestine joke. But going back to their behavior, let's look a little bit more. They clearly don't like false allegations being spread around because when they talk about somebody, you know, saying a bunch of people were pedophiles for no reason at all, including him, he doesn't like that. When he talks about him getting blamed for somebody leaving a community, he doesn't like that. But when it comes to this, I guess he doesn't take the same standard. Even when it comes to an actual false strike, he doesn't like that, which makes sense. But I guess when it comes to false claims against somebody that he wants to believe, I guess it's not there. Which then is also odd because he doesn't like strikes against his channel, but you are aware that trying to put like Dick Rider or insults like Dick Rider in like your thumbnail and title is very much against YouTube TOS, which I'm assuming the reason why he got these strikes in the first place was because he went overboard, which seems to me that he does not really understand much, which probably means he doesn't understand this situation. We're also just going to ignore that it's supposed to be your A, not your. But it makes sense because he's kind of like childish and like very sensitive. Just even this, where he talks about somebody making like a Israel Palestine joke. It's odd because it's like you said slurs before. What are you trying to do? And then tries to make excuses for said slurs. Those aren't really things that are like that great. And it shows that he's not only extremely childish, but also is willing to lie about other people, steal content just because, and put very little editing, and try to go basically bully a person all because he was wrong. What he is doing will be classified as harassment under YouTube TOS, but also when it comes to the definition of a legal way in most countries, this is how it is. On top of that, like I said, he is breaking copyright as he has not put any effort besides taking random clips of my video, not giving me any credit, not saying where it's from, not transforming it any way. Even if he did do credit, he did not transform it any way. And there's nothing here. He's just a sensitive kid that is trying to punch up and talk about things that he clearly doesn't know about. He's trying to talk about things of very serious nature without knowing the actual thing and without analyzing it. Very serious question to him. Has he spoke to these people, these allegers? I have. They couldn't defend anything. Have you actually analyzed the document? It just seems like you haven't. It seems like you did a quick read and then just brush past every single part. Why can't you accept that you're wrong? And why do you feel the need to go and try to do this? But anyways, that's all I'm going to say. If you're seeing this, actions have been taken already. And it's whatever. Anyways, bye-bye. Quick jump. Here's the actual proof of me talking about the copyright edit. You can click out the video now if you want to. Yeah, it's nothing.